because women now are affected by the lifestyle what their grandmothers had. So it goes down transgenerational also. And this is the epigenetic modification of your DNA. So epigenetics is the hereditable changes in the gene expression, which is not due to the DNA. DNA will give you a particular gene and you become like your father or your mother. But if the epigenetics is disturbed, that means the environment, the epigenome changes the DNA methylation in your cells, in your tissue, and causes histone modifications. And they also start generating small messenger RNAs, which are not actually the signals, but they are altered messenger RNA signals. And this will regulate the epigenetic modification, and the good gene, which was supposed to make you good and healthy and all that, gets modified and becomes a bad gene. So we all have all genes. We all have cancer genes. We all have disease genes. We have so many. The whole genome is full of diseases on our genes. But most of them sit quietly if your environment or epigenetics is normal. If it is not, then they will activate the bad genes, and the genetic variation and the environment is responsible for this. So that is what epigenetics is all about. And precision medicine will now aim at epigenetics rather than genetics. So what modifies the epigenome or the epigenetics? Metals, cadmium, arsenic, nickel, chromium, methyl mercury, peroxisome proliferators, like all these acids or the in pollutants, air pollutants, especially benzene and black carbon, and particulate matter in our air. See, when you wear a mask, which we are doing these days, and after a few days, you see particulate matter. We were not seeing this in March because the air was clear, but in the last 1 week, the mask has started getting dirty again. So the particulate matter is increasing. The EDCs, as I told you, which are also work as reproductive toxins, dioxins, DAS, and most of these studies, how they cause a problem is related to that they will methylate the DNA abnormally. So EDC works on the mother, on the fetus, on the children, on the growing adolescent. They'll work on all our lifestyle, any age, and they will cause faulty methylation and faulty and problems in our body and problems in our. So what do these do? Or potentially will disturb your ovarian function in women. They will either accelerate or delay the puberty. They will cause menstrual abnormalities and problem. They'll cause polycystic ovarian syndrome to resurface. There is a genetic aspect to PCOS, though the correct gene is not identified, but the PY4 gene is altered and gene function, and that alters the hormonal milieu, and that causes PCOS. Endometriosis has been linked to pollution, fibroids has been linked to pollution, the time to get pregnant, or female trying to get pregnant has been linked to pollution, pregnancy losses, reproductive senescence, early menopause, bad sperm counts, bad sperm quality, and bad pregnancy outcomes. All this has been linked to today the environmental pollutions. So maternal bisphenol A, BPA, exposure disturbs the early meiotic events in the fetal and ovary. So if you are applying too much of makeup and using too much of not healthy, good cosmetics, it goes to the fetus and it disturbs the fetal ovary. And that fetal ovary will start losing oocyte quality, chromosomally abnormal eggs, and very bad embryos that baby will produce when. So this is known as transgenerational F3 effect. And it does not stop at only your children. It goes to their children and their children. So it's an F3 effect, transgenerational, which you can simply alter by just using the right products and the right organic things, and not believing in artificial cosmetics, doing it the natural way. Your natural skin is the best skin. So meiotic progression and recombination with BPA during the human fetal oocyte development is now proven. Enough evidence about this, how cosmetics can cause damage to your baby and to her baby and to her baby, 3 generations. So probably if someone is having early menopause right now, not able to conceive, it was her grandmother who was not doing the right thing. So it will give you poor egg quality and it will alter the menopause chains. And it affects every step of steroidogenesis. So you don't get the right estrogen, the right progesterone, and it's seen in rice, rats, hamsters, lambs, sheep, and also in humans. So this will affect the uterus, the vagina, the pituitary, all this system, reproductive system gets affected, and the egg quality gets affected, generation next, and generation after that gets affected, and the generation after that gets affected. You see what these cause, the EDCs, PCOS, meiotic disruption of oogenesis, endometriosis, uterine fibroids, lactation failures, early thelarchy, premature menarche, and wherever it occurs. If it occurs at organogenesis, all of these. If it occurs neonatal, these, pubertal, these, and in the adult life, reproductive, endometriosis, fibroids, and all. So it spreads all over ages. You can't say that it will correct itself. It also affects the male reproductive system. The anti-androgens, estrogen, dioxins, which are the main players in the male reproductive system, prenatally and postnatally, they get disturbed. The AMH, E2, drive, testicular descent, all that gets disturbed, and androgens, which form the external genitalia, masculization, that get disturbed, and these men have poor sperm quality, poor sperm count, undescended testes, and the sexual problems and all. So when we compare the human and the rat with these bisphenols, so it affects the CYP11A, CYP17, which I told you for PCOS, and all these actors at all these stages, they'll all be affected, as you can see in the slide so nicely. It's a little technical bit, but I think we need to understand technical. Now, how could we prove this? We could prove it by studying in IVF cases. So ART, when you use IVF cohorts and you see the environmental burdens, so that is where these studies came from in human beings. The poor ovarian reserve, the follicular dynamics, the oocyte quality, the sperm parameters, the peak E2 levels, the endometrial thickness and appearance, fertilization rates, embryo dynamics, implantation rate, pregnancy rate, all disturbed because of EDCs. And this IVF technology told us and showed us. So these various studies and the various recent cohorts and the Cochrane and the Earth and the SMART and the Life reviews show that IVF enables a scrutiny of the gamete, because the gamete is outside in an environment which you can modulate. And this shows in the lab and in the patient what happens to that gamete and to that embryo. So females who spoke and undergo IVF have diminished ovarian reserve, elevated basal AMH, FSH, AMH receptor apoptosis. So AMH, even if it is normal, does not work. Increased miscarriage, lower birth weight babies, PTBs, and transgenerational effect over the 3 generations, as I told you. Now, well-designed cohort study, association of EDCs with reproductive potential using BPA, bisphenols, PCB, parabens, all this was studied. And it all showed all these, which I told you, serum E2 levels, AMH levels, antral follicle count, poor oocyte quality, fertilization rate, implantation rate, poor embryo quality, very low clinical pregnancy and live birth. All documented, all proven, all scientific evidence of showing what environment does to us. Pesticide use in women who were eating more vegetables which were sprayed with pesticide have a poor outcome. Clear-cut disruption of their reproductive system. And higher consumption of high pesticide residue in fruits. So these fruits were tested, and this study by Earth, 325 patients, show that the lower probability of clinical pregnancy, lower probability of live birth rate, and greater abortion rates and implantation failure in women who ate fruits which were ripe artificially or sprayed by pesticides. So the negative endpoints associated with IVF with air pollution are clearly now scientifically proven. Air quality, O3, exhaust, proximity to major road. It is seen that IVF centers which were right next to a major road or a highway where there were a lot of trucks going on, the results are very poor. Or that is unless they do use a very, very high grade filter in the lab, a zero particulate matter and a proper VOC control. It also, one of our posters which we showed, Dr. Keshav, our embryologist, showed in the FOXC, we say environment and electronics can drastically affect your sperm count. So cell phones, cell phone towers nearby, that's why to put a radiation stop chip on your cell phone is very, very important. And this is very, very simple. It is available by Modi Care, I think, and on Amway, on all Amazon, and you can buy that and do it. By your laptops, radios, all your rooms should be put or chipped back or blocked. The radiation block should be put there. It affects the sperm count, motility, morphology, viability, and even if the sperm count is normal, the pregnancy potential of that sperm is poor. So we come to, oh no, is there hope when there is so much pollution? Is there any hope and what we can do? The last part of this presentation on what can we do or can we do or not. So what can we do? The first thing we have to do is we have to rigorously evaluate the quality and the strength of the data which I've talked about. Do environmental toxin actually affect the human health? And all of you can do this small study, all your outdoor patients, just ask them where they come from, what they eat, what they're exposed to, and just measure their pulse, blood pressure, pulse oximetry, and their basic hormonal levels, and their health, the BMI, and you will be able to see who are healthy, which come from the healthy environment, who are unhealthy, which come from the unhealthy environment. And we want to make a green chemistry around our world. So all the hazardous chemical processes and products to be replaced by safer alternative. Very easy to say, difficult to do, but we have to start some way. So if you cannot reuse it, refuse it. That's my call on this Environment Day. And you see how plastic affects our life in agriculture, in electronics, in automobiles, in buildings, in consumers. So if I cannot reuse a thing, I refuse to use it, including wearing clothes. Some of these clothes are stitched from my grandmother's saris and my mother's saris. And whenever I walk up the ramp, the kurtas which I wear and the sherwanis which I wear, which was on the Facebook a lot, they are almost 80, 90 years old, my grandmother's. I just got it cut and restitched. So please refuse it. Don't buy new clothes, reuse your clothes, just refashion them, just change your life. It was thought that BPA would be good, but BPA and BPF are all equally bad. So all synthetic lipsticks, all synthetic facial cosmetics, creams, just reject them. Read on before buying, what are you buying? And what is the harmful subject in it, whether it is safe for skin or not. So, what obstetrician, when we did a survey of 2,500 cases and we compared. So most of the pregnant women was, can I eat fast food? Can I drink a glass of wine? Can I smoke one cigarette? Can I use cosmetics? Can I use plastics? So it's a bigger fish to fry than to talk about it. And sometimes you don't know what to say, and it's like a Pandora box. If you say yes or no, what to say and where to stop them. But professional organizations like RCOG has given a committee opinion, the ACOG, the American Society of Reproductive Medicine, FIGO, all of them have been now talking about environmental disruptors rather than diseases. And look at this FIGO beautiful chart, which was made a few years back by the guidelines committee, where I was also the member. Recommendation 1, advocate the policies to prevent exposure to toxic environmental chemicals. So you have to do advocacy. Recommendation 2, work to ensure that you have a healthy food system for all. The government has to, we have to force the government to think about this, and of course us. Recommendation number 3, make environmental healthcare as a part of healthcare. We say in India, healthcare to de do, why environmental care kahan se aayegi? But we have to insist that we want a good environment to live in. And recommendation 4, champion the environmental justice cause. That you and me can do, and that you and me can do by advocacy, by making posters, by putting on social groups, by talking every time. Any talk we give, one slide should be about the environment, how you can save. So some of the examples, what we can do a full patient annotations, environmental history. So we take the data from the patient, which I told you, all of us. We can educate the professionals and patients, so our junior doctors, our nurses and all, and have your day fixed in your clinic 1 day a week, where whoever is sitting outdoors, just come out of your clinic, 10 minutes, talk to them about the environment. Just 10 minutes, and you'll make a difference. We have to educate the healthcare professionals, the Ministry of Health, the legislatures, our community leaders to take this, and we have to advocate that we need a clean environment to live in. So we can eat organic foods, we can wash the fruits and vegetables with soda bicarb or potassium permanganate. We can grow our own vegetables. See, this is all the top IVF specialists in a TOG in Goa. We planted some pineapple trees there and came 2 years back. And the garden and the hotel where we had the conference is now eating those healthy, natural grown pineapples. Minimum use of plastics. See what we do. You say I cannot, you have to buy mineral water bottles. So what I do is, and what we do is, and what our family does is, we have a garbage box made of cloth. All the plastic, when we eat the capsule, the covering, all is thrown in the garbage box, and it fills up by Sunday. So on Sunday, we have probably taken some 20 bottles of mineral water. So we all sit outside and we stuff all the garbage in those bottles, and we tightly with a stick, tightly pack that mineral water bottle with garbage, which is non-dissolvable garbage, which you don't throw, and tightly close the bottle, and this bottle now becomes a brick. It's as strong as a brick which you buy. So you have 100 of them, you can build a small wall of garbage bottles or a floor of garbage bottles. That's what we are doing. Use alternative households, baking soda, fresh air, soap, and ammonia to clean your house. Phthalate-free makeup, that is very, very important. Any makeup you buy, look at the product. There should be no phthalate, there should be no bisphenol in it. Hand sanitizers. Hand sanitizer use has again blasted in the last 3 days. Use healthy hand sanitizers and use minimum alcohol base. You have to use 70%, but don't give it to children. Keep it out of children. Children can drink it. Children, the alcohol gets absorbed from the palms. So it's better to wash hands with soap and water, and we follow the hand Suman, Sida, Ulta, Muthi, Ungli, Kalai, and that acronym we should follow. Avoid particulate matter. Particulate matter, always wear a mask. You see the Japanese and the Thai people have always wear a mask. They have less chance of falling sick. Avoid lead exposure. A lovely poster again presented to Foxy by Niharika. Let's do something drastic to cut off plastic, as we are all fantastic. So reusable bottles, glass straws, metal straws, silicone bags, paper bags, switch to glass Tupperware, buy glass bottles, buy in bulk. When you buy containers, don't buy glass containers, and find a local shop. If you want to discard, just don't throw it away in the garbage. Find someone who can reuse it. So refuse if you cannot reuse it. Reuse things. And my 2 grandchildren who unfortunately have been forced to wear this mask now because of Corona, but we don't want our generation wearing masks to avoid pollution, smoke, air quality filters, particulate matter, and cold. We don't want our children to look like that. We don't want our generation next to look like that and holding sanitizer bottles and wearing masks. Agra, we celebrated the Environment Day 2020 by doing a poster contest. And these are the children of the Agra Gynec Society members who made some lovely, lovely posters. So lastly, you and me only can save this world. And I would end by this message from a 5-year-old. Let's all do it.
So there is no audio.
You have to help up your. So she's just saying, let's plant a plant today, and let's save water also to make our healthy. So let's protect not just the generation next. Let's protect all the generations which are about to come, and give them something very beautiful music to listen to, and their world to be a beautiful, musical, smooth and healthy, pollution-free world. Thank you very much. Be safe in this difficult times, difficult pandemic years of Corona. We will overcome this. We will fight this. Thank you very much for inviting me here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. This was yet another very excellent and an enlightening talk. I just realized that how we as the citizens and also as medical health professionals can make a difference at each and every step that we do every day in our daily lives. Thank you so much. It was an eye opener. And I would like to tell you that we have taken up the project of sustainable menstruation this year. And our slogan for the year is also, if you cannot reuse it, please refuse it. So I was very glad to see that slogan in your presentation as well. Thank you once again, sir. Over to you, Swati.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. It was truly a very informative session. Since the pollutants are all over around us, it's how we take it and how we can reduce it. Definitely. Thank you so much for this. Now, before going, I would request all the participants to put in their questions into the chat box. And meanwhile, I will request our Honorable Secretary, Dr. Rajyasree Sengupta ma'am, to announce the ICOG points.
Hello, am I audible,
Yes,
Swati?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I'm sharing the
Thank
slide.
you so much. Thank you so much. So it was a wonderful lecture, sir, as usual. Really an eye opener, I must say. For those of you who wish to be notified, okay, I'll tell about the ICOG points first. Today, CME has been very kindly granted 1 ICOG credit point by the Indian College of Obstetrics and Gynecology. So those who wish to seek this ICOG credit point need to send us the details, that is name, your state medical council registration number or your MCI registration number, your mobile number and your email address to any one of these numbers which are flashed right now on your screen. It would be nice if you could take a screenshot or maybe a snapshot or just note one of these numbers and send your details to any one of them. And we will be processing the certificates very soon. Swati, can I have the next slide? Thank you. This is the number of our NOGS office for those who wish to be notified of our future online CMEs of DGO GAN. So you need to send us your name and mobile number on this number for future notifications. Please note, do not send any other details on this number. Only for future notifications of DGO GAN CMEs, kindly send your name and mobile number on this number, that is 93566 Thank you. And I would also like to tell about our next CME in case those who are logged in would like to log in again. We are having a 2-part module on essentials of fetal biometry and growth by none other than the Mahaguru of ultrasonography in India, that is Dr. S. Suresh sir. We already heard him last month and he told us in great details about the mid-trimester anomaly scan under our DGO GAN series. Now again he'll be on our DGO GAN series on 12th of June, that is coming next Friday. And the second part will be on 19th June, that is the Friday after that. So it's a 2-part module. So please watch out for our notifications and do log in to listen to him. And before that, we have on Tuesday, our own Dr. Mitra Saxena ma'am, who will be telling us about episiotomy revisited. We are really happy and privileged to have her with us in our audience today. Mitra ma'am, thank you so much for being with us and being a regular on our DGO GAN CMEs.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
For all of this.
It's a pleasure to be with you people and can't keep away from your lovely webinars.
Thank you, ma'am.
Addicting.
Yeah.
Really encouraging.
Yeah. So, sir, I'll take a few questions that we have for you. So, what's your comment on the pocket use of cell phones, which has significantly reduced the sperm counts? I have to advise to avoid 2 cell phones in 2 pockets. Young boys are coming with severe necro and oligospermia. That's a question from Dr. Vandana Gandhi.
So cell phones, now it is proven they have a because of the radiation. That is why I said, someone was asking me about the chip. Here is the chip. It is from Modi Care. So the Modi Care is marketing that it's a natural, which markets natural products.
Okay.
And it's a small chip and it just sticks like that. And you can do it for your room also if you have got too many gadgets in your room. So they have a small device which can be fitted in the room also. Now, cell phones and laptops, actually the studies are going on and the studies are very contradictory. Some of them say drastic effect, some say mild effect, some say, but definitely the radiation has a problem. So cell phone should not be put on your up pocket and should not be put on your pant pockets also. Not near the heart.
So what should the men do, sir? They usually only put in the pockets.
So what we should do is, if you're carrying a laptop bag or a bag with you, keep the cell phone there and put the ear, this thing. So that would be the best if we can do.
So is there a name to this chip which prevents radiation?
Yeah, it's known as the Modi Care Environment Chip.
Okay. All right, sir. Any idea about the organic cosmetics? Can you, if you have any?
So
organic cosmetics.
Very good the brands would show you organic, lead-free, bisphenol-free cosmetics. So if you just go and buy any lipstick which you see, if they don't have a reading in it. So if it does not have a reading in it, what it has, just don't buy it. If it has a reading, then look for the lead, bisphenols, and fight it. So if it has that, reject it.
So can you repeat the chemicals again, please?
Bisphenol, BPA, BPS, phthalates, and lead.
Okay.
So they have to give you, the good companies will have to give you the amount of what is in that, what we have in that. If they don't buy that. And if it is negligible or say, use that. And some of them like L'Oreal and all these companies have it totally lead free. So it has to, obviously those things will be a little expensive, but not at the expense of causing cancer to you and cancer. So that you have to be careful for.
Yes, a very important tip, sir. There is a question, I request again for the recorded version, Dr. Gandhi. Ma'am, I would like to tell you and announce today that all our sessions which were recorded have been now successfully uploaded on our website. So all our previous webinars are now available for your viewing. Please visit our website. For the link of website, you can visit our NOGS Facebook page. We have a Facebook page by the name N for Nagpur, NOGS, and the link is mentioned, so you can directly visit. Under the heading of DGO GAN, you will get all the recordings. So till now, all our sessions have been uploaded now.
Yeah, I see a question from some Amrit Gupta saying that today in the pandemic times, the mobile and laptop use, it's a paradox, it's a tragedy, it's a catch-22, where we were keeping the mobiles away from our children and laptop. Now we're telling them to sit in front and do the online classes. So it is a tragedy which has happened to us, to the world, and I have no answer on how we are going to come out of this tragedy now.
Absolutely true, sir. What's your opinion about the biodegradable sanitary napkins? Their
Absolutely, yes. Now in my hospital, I should have brought that. The plastic bags which use, they're plastic, but it is 0.30 microns and it is biodegradable. So the medicines which are given and sold, if you're not able to do it in paper because paper tears and the cloth becomes sometimes expensive, you get biodegradable plastic material, and that biodegradable plastic envelope, if you keep them for 6 days in sun, it just degrades. And sanitary napkins, biodegradable, I would just advocate that. But unfortunately, again, because of the cost, it's not as it is. The sanitary napkins being used in India is a lot less than what it should be. But biodegradable, or you put them in proper disposal. The disposal bag should be there with the sanitary napkin pack.
Yeah, right. So, but the biodegradable napkins do not have plastic in it? The sanitary
they have plastic, but it degrades.
Yeah,
See, if the plastic is of very thin microns, then in sunlight or when you bury it, it degrades.
Yeah, I unmuted Niharika. She was wanting to comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing, that these sanitary pads have plastic, but this plastic actually degrades when kept in sunlight for 7 days. so they do not actually harm your environment. Another thing you can switch from biodegradable pads is to a menstrual cup, you know,
Exactly.
because that actually lasts longer and it costs less if you
Yes.
calculate the cost among it.
Total
So
cost,
that's what I
yes.
wanted to comment.
Yeah. So we have taken this up as a social initiative and promoting cloth pads as well as menstrual cups. So we've already done in a month's time 6 sessions for various associations, and very happy to tell you that many of them have already converted.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Niharika. So what is the role of antioxidants and micronutrient inclusion for better health?
So there are 3 proven antioxidants which are immunity boosters. You will get a lot of them in capsules form, powder form, sprays, lot of Ayurvedic, homeopathic, everything which claims to be the ultimate to fight even viral. But vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D and B1. So we should have these at least in our diet. If diet is not good and if you're deficient, you should supplement these right through. Folic acid supplementation to girls from adolescent to menopause. That should be compulsory. In my year again, I had labeled this as the engagement pill. So once a
Okay.
girl gets engaged, start folic acid.
Yes.
Give her a box of folic acid to eat
Yes.
whenever she reproduces and tell her to eat it lifelong then. But we should shift that now from adolescent, from 13 years. So folic acid is very important. Zinc is very important. Vitamin C and vitamin D is very important.
Right. Sir, Dr. Surekha Taide is also here, and she has mentioned that, Surekha, I have unmuted you. Would you like to comment about her research project on tribal or rural girls with the use of menstrual cups? Surekha, go ahead.
Hello, yes. I would like to just share that we are doing the research on, because menstrual cups, even the well-to-do and educated are not using.
Yes.
So, the rural women, we cannot, the acceptability, feasibility, and how they are going to start using it. That's a real question. And as you have suggested, and everybody is promoting that we need to go for the, environmental safe type of sanitary wear, and that's why we are doing this research on rural women, actually. And we have got this sanctioned also. We have an intramural grant for it, and we'll be doing it on the rural women, where we're going to see the comfort, the acceptability, and we'll go to report. And if the rural women can accept it, then naturally, of course, urban, and of course, and I found that even my doctors, residents, they do not know how to use a menstrual cup.
Yes.
So we'll be promoting it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Surekha, for that important input. Sir, there is another question from Dr. Amogh. In this pandemic area, we are generating so much of disposable waste. How should we dispose them?
So I just told you, all your mineral water bottles, just stuff the disposal waste and tightly pack them. Make bricks. And the green waste, composite them. Buy a compositor and composite all your wet and green waste. And put them in your pots for getting lovely plants. So we can do it yourself. You no need to throw anything outside.
Right. Sir, do you have a clue whether there is any particular ill effect of 5G radiation?
5G is not here. As soon as it comes and is widely used, I'm sure any radiation, anything which is electronic, which disturbs the wave pattern of the atmosphere is going to be harmful. So it's there in, I think, some places in China, and I'm not sure they've done a research on the damage it causes.
Right. And sir, what about, do you know of any radiation protection from laptops and mobiles for spectacles or any films?
Environment chip and the ultraviolet filter, that screen over your laptop screen. So you can just put that screen, space that screen over your laptop screen so the ultraviolet does not disturb you, and put the chip on your laptop, back of the laptop, back of your phone, everywhere, wherever you want to reduce the radiation. And if you have too many things in a room, you can put the device in the room also. So it covers all the devices in that room.
Dr.
Right.
Vedi, we also have those blue film glasses, especially for children. So you can, for younger children, especially because now they're watching laptops a lot, you can give them those glasses without numbers.
So can you tell us more about it, where they're available and how we can
They're
source
available
them?
in Lenskart and all those now
Okay.
opticals. Yeah, you
Okay.
can get them
Okay.
easily.
Great, great. Sir, what about PPE kits? How to dispose them?
See, all hospital waste is a biomedical waste, and all biomedical waste has to be incinerated. So now we're not allowed to have our own incinerators, not even bigger hospitals. So the biomedical waste is collected by the biomedical waste agency every day or alternate day. You have to have a proper doffing it off. So donning the kit, you can don it in any area, but doffing area where you take it off proper way, every step, sanitize, take off every pair, stick, and put them in a bag and put them in your biomedical waste area. And it is collected by the biomedical waste car or the truck which comes and incinerated.
So the PPE kits go in which color bags, sir, now? Will
PPE
they go in
kit
yellow or?
No,
they
they
go in
have,
the yellow.
but they have to be separate now during COVID times.
So it has to go in any particular coded bag, because we have segregation for red, yellow, blue, and black.
I think it goes into a biomedical waste bag, a red one.
Yeah.
Gloves and all
The
that.
red one, the red one. Okay. So what about disinfection of fruits and vegetables? I think you mentioned once, but if you can repeat.
Okay, the fruits and vegetables, when you get them out, right now in COVID times, 2 hours to be kept in a quarantine area, in one room. You don't keep them out in sun because some fruits will spoil in the sun.
Right.
So a well-aerated fan, or put them on a table and put a table fan over it. So it dry off the moisture, because the virus lives in droplets. So first that we'll do that. Then you prepare a washing solution with 1 teaspoonful soda bicarb in 1 bucket of water, and you dip and wash the fruit in soda bicarb. Some fruits cannot be washed also because they'll spoil by wet. So either quick dip or this thing, or you can use potassium permanganate in water, or you have a small mechanical device which is known as the ozonizer. So you
Yes.
keep all the fruits in this thing and bubble the ozone in that water. So you just clean it and then you dry it and put them in the fridge.
So along with the ozonizers, do we have these UV boxes also available for vegetables and fruits? Are they available?
Well, we have UV boxes available now. Even very small UV boxes are also. Or you can have a UV light in the room where you're using for quarantine. So put the thing there, put the air conditioning on because you don't want the fruit to spoil, and put the UV lights for 6 hours. That will also be good.
Okay. Sir, do mobile... Yes, sir, go ahead. So you were saying something?
No, Amog lifted his hand, I think.
Yeah. Amog, yeah, you can... I've asked you to unmute.
And the thing about the PPEs that what we are doing is the disposable ones, we are dipping it in hypochlorite solution, drying it in sunlight, and then disposing it in a separate bag labeled as PPE kit.
Yeah.
And then we are handing it over to the biomedical waste company.
Okay, great.
These are for the ones which are being used in the high risk, the red zone of COVID, or in the ICU which is dealing with COVID. If you're doing it in the OPD, then some of the PPEs are, the laminated ones especially, can be washed and re-sterilized and reused for a couple of times.
Yeah, nice, sir. A few of you who asked us for the NOGS Facebook page information, Dr. Swati has put the Facebook page link in the chat box. Swati, you please post it once again, so you can directly access our page from that link. Sir, can you share the link for Modi Care chips? Is there any link available from where they can source it?
I'll WhatsApp there. It's like this Amway started, na Modi Care chain has started.
Actually, yeah. Yes, yes.
And better to become a member so you get it at discount. So it's
Okay.
very, I'll just search Modi Care on Google,
Yes,
and
yes.
it'll come to you and you can order. And better
Just
become
like-
a member so you get a.
Yeah.
It's like that Amway chain.
Right, just like Amway. Sir, do mobile network towers beside the building and ANC resides, is there any chance, can this be a reason of repeated abortions? mobile tower just next to the building where she resides?
Not directly linked as of now. There are no studies which have said like this, but we definitely near the mobile towers, we're seeing that the beautiful birds and animals which used to sit in that area all have vanished.
All have vanished. Yes.
Sparrow, the house sparrows just vanished because of. In my house, they used to come. So many of them come. So those delicate birds have vanished. So maybe it may have one. It can kill or drive away birds. The radiation could be harmful, but we are not very sure right now.
Yes, sir, right. How to protect ourselves from the radiation of mobile towers installed in our society?
Right now we're wearing PP kits, then we'll wear radiation kits.
Okay. This is a question from Dr. Farhana Sonawala. She says, can you please comment on chemicals in food from preservatives, stabilizing agents, flavoring agents, artificial colors, etc.?
Just say no to anything which is artificial.
Actually,
yes. And anything which contains chemicals. So if you buy a red powder to make a good red butter chicken or a butter lal butter paneer, please don't add the red powder. The red powder
use colors.
Estrogen, and if men eat it, they'll have infertility. And so to use natural lal mirchi. What if it doesn't become red? It will become orange, or it will become light yellowish. That's good enough. It still tastes butter chicken. It doesn't have to look red. The more red it looks, the worse it is.
Right, absolutely. It's very right. Now the problem is the children, they have to do all the work via electronic gadgets. Can you suggest how much time they can stay on the gadget for work, and the break they do, will it increase the radiation?
Niharika will tell this. She's handling 2 kids.
Niharika is the right person to.
Yeah, so hi, Dr. Vedi. So actually a very difficult question. Yes. But then when I read through a lot of articles, they do say that a child of above the age of 5 years should have a direct long like screen time of maximum 2 hours. So any child for a school, so maximum. Okay. So if the child is less than 5 years, then 45 minutes, and then they have to take a break. If a child is more than 5 years, then maybe 2 hours continuously they can do. But then after that, you'll have to limit them during the day, because this is for school, because now online classes are happening. And if your child has more than 2 hours school, then they should have at least 15 minutes break after every 1.5 hours.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good tip. Yeah, thank you. I think there's one more. Yes, sir. So the same repeated. Yes, sir, you were saying something.
No.
Okay.
I'm waiting for your question.
Yeah, so again a repeat question about vegetables and fruits. I think you need to clarify once again.
I'll give you an easier one for this, Dr. Vedi. You can actually dip them in apple cider vinegar.
Yes.
That's equivalent to all the things. You can just take 2 spoons of apple cider vinegar in one bucket and just dip your vegetables for 10 minutes, and that's enough.
Yeah, and what is it, baking soda or soda bicarb? I had read, sir said soda bicarb and we were putting baking soda.
I think it's baking soda.
Baking soda also will do.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Same thing. I think I'm not too sure, so I just confirmed. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I never expected there will be so many questions on a topic like this, but the questions are still coming in. But I think we're done with most of the questions. The rest are all repetitive. Yeah. Anyone else wants to make a comment can raise your hand. I'll unmute you. Yeah. No more questions, I think, sir. Rajasi? Yeah, over to you, Raj. Yeah, there is one more question till there. Sir, will Kent ozone purifier kill virus? I think, sir, some problem with the network. Niharika, can you take that question?
So, these ozone purifiers actually do not kill any virus or anything which is, invisible. If you understand, they can only kill particles which you can see in the air. So, they're only used for purifying air where you have a lot of pollution or a lot of dust. but they do not work on viruses, is what I have read about.
Okay, so what do they actually do when you dip them in a bowl of water and put the ozone purifier in it? So what is the action then? I thought they work on the pesticides.
No, they only work on the outer layering if the virus is on the droplet outside. So they just wash off that, so that's why I was telling you that even the apple cider vinegar with water, so they'll just wash off the layer which is stuck to the fruit or the vegetable outside.
Okay, so there are a few more questions again. Please comment on alkaline water.
Yeah, a lot of people say alkalizing your body is good for health. And a lot of people say alkalizing water drinking is better for your health. So there are some proven benefits. And if you go to a health camp or you do go for a detox area or detox, you are only given alkaline water. And I've had it. It feels good, but I'm not sure how if you alkalize too much, you need acid also to fight the germs, and so you need acid in your saliva, you need acid in the stomach, so there has to be a balance in between of them.
Right. So which vinegar, someone is asking, is apple cider? Yeah, Niharika is already posted in the chat box which vinegar it's that. So we routinely, in fact, it's a good idea to have apple cider vinegar every day morning, 2 teaspoonfuls in a glass of water. It's help in alkalization, I believe, right?
It's good for weight loss also.
Yeah, very good for weight loss. Sir, is UV light carcinogenic? Dr. Meena Agrawal has read somewhere that it is carcinogenic. What about its safety?
If you sit in the UV light, it is very bad. So you just put on the light and get out of the room. Even there are some portable UV lights which you take, and people rooms they have to wear protective gear to do UV sterilization.
Right.
The UV light is harmful, yes.
And what about RO water? Is it safe, or we should have only boiled water?
RO filters all the particulate matter. So you do a normal particulate study on the water which is coming in and which comes out of the RO. And the particulate matter, the RPM, which says it reduces drastically. And it also reduces the bacteria because of the filters. But it cannot filter out viruses and all. So, but yes, it is safe to drink RO water. It is very safe, because you at least getting rid of the major particulate.
Yeah. But there is an important point there. So Dr. Vandana Gandhi has mentioned that it increases gastric acidity. So not sure. Dr. Gandhi? Yeah, I've unmuted you.
Many of the patients complain, and then we have done 5 to 10 people to stop the RO water and use boiled water. They just without any medicine reduce the acidity. One of them is my sister. Oh. So now we have stopped using the RO. All the RO machines in the home and other homes, 4 machines just kept aside, closed.
Yes, so Dr. Vandana, you are actually correct. You know, the RO water decreases the pH. So it is a low pH water. And that is why it might cause a little indigestion or acidity if you are prolonged usage of RO water. So what they actually tell us is you should check the filters every 6 months. You should change the RO filters and clean them. And that balances it. But yes, RO water does cause acidity. That's correct.
So best is our traditional method of filtering with a cloth.
Yeah.
Then boiling. We do this every day for last more than 15 years. Nobody of us is having any renal disease, no acidity, no medical.
It is now cumbersome to boil so much water and then fill it in bottles and then drink. Otherwise, boiling is the best way.
Right.
Agreed. Right. Best way.
Yeah, right. So what is, Amol, go ahead.
Another disadvantage of RO is that it removes the sodium and other essential minerals from the water. And that does not quench your thirst. And again, it causes problems in with renal disorders as well. So RO water should be avoided as much as possible.
Yeah.
And the best thing.
Or you alkalinize RO water.
Yeah.
You put them in a bottle, alkalinize it, and then drink it.
That is what we have been sold now. It is packaged drinking water with added minerals.
Yeah.
That added minerals is what is being removed by RO system.
Right. So there is one more. Yeah. Thanks, Amok. Thanks. So what is the validity of these chips? How frequently do we have to replace them? The Modi Care chips.
Actually, I came across. I became a Modi Care member just 10 days back, and the first thing they told me is this. So they've told me it lasts for 3 years, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if my phone will last for 3 years.
Yeah. True. And so, do we have any studies about their effectiveness? How effective are they?
They gave a lot of literature. It has actually been studied and FDA approved. It's an American FDA approved device.
Okay, and there are a few inputs about soda bicarb that we discuss. Soda bicarb is same as baking soda, so that's for everybody's information.
Yeah.
How to combat hypercapnia, which is common side effect wearing a PPE and N95 mask for long hours. Any
You'll be
clue on
wearing
that?
it for long hours. You are locked up in the ICU. Otherwise, in the OPD time, then when you go out, because see, the mask is preventing, if someone is sitting in front of you talking to you, then only the mask is required. If you, I'm not wearing a mask right now, there's no one right next to me, it's not an airborne disease. Had it been an airborne disease like Spanish flu, a mask continuously would have been there.
Yeah.
So this is when we are talking to people, then only you're wearing it. So you can take a break, take off the mask a little bit in the OPD. But if you're working in a COVID ICU, then we've seen how these poor people have had marks and all the problems. Then there is the respirator with a mask is not for the ICUs, but there is another type of respirator which I saw in one of the masks, which looks like very big, and there are two respirators.
Yeah, we saw your pictures, sir.
So that you can use that one if you're going to wear it for a very long time.
Okay, but then how to combat the hypercapnia?
The hypercapnia is because you're breathing in the mask and breathing the same air again and again. So you should have a filtered mask so that the air, fresh air comes
so that's
in.
the solution.
Or after some time, you just take out the mask and go for a walk and come back and wear it.
Yeah. And about the mobile phones, you said you can use a Bluetooth earpod, but even those are found to be harmful.
But they're much lesser harmful. They are harmful, but they're much lesser radiation than a full phone on your chest or on your pocket.
Yeah. So one more input about the alkaline water. Dr. Indira is saying ionized alkaline water and alkaline water are not the same. So maybe she means to say ionized alkaline water and the ionized is rich in antioxidants. So I don't know, I can't find her. I can unmute her if she wants to make a comment. 1 minute, I will. Yeah, Dr. Indira, you can unmute yourself. Well, I can't find you. Yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Indira, make your comment.
Yeah, what they're saying is about Kangen water. They say that alkaline water is just alkaline and you garner no health benefits from drinking plain alkaline water. And ionized alkaline water is rich in antioxidants and it creates an ORP, that is oxidation reduction potential, which in the environment, which reduces the amount of damage caused by oxidation, and it is absolutely healthy.
Oh.
That's what this Kangen water people are saying.
Oh, that's a great information. Thank you so much, Dr. Indira. Someone has also commented to add cucumber in water. So,
a lot of hotels we see the water at the reception.
Yes.
There are cucumber
Infused.
slices.
The infused water. Yeah.
So that is good for water.
Yeah, yeah. I think so. Now finally we are done with the questions, and oh, one more question. In UV chamber, can we sanitize fruits and vegetables?
Yes, you can.
So any duration and how much time and all?
I think minimum exposure should be 6 hours.
6 hours?
Yeah. So overnight.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, I never ever thought that this topic will invoke so many questions and such a lot of interaction. And I would really like to tell you, sir, this is the beauty of DGO again. We just discussed one topic, one faculty and one orator. And our interaction goes on for 1 hour, 40 minutes, 2 hours. So talk lasts for an hour, but the interaction goes on for close to 2 hours. So, so that's why we are enjoying these sessions a lot. Thank you so much once again. Over to you, Rajasi, now.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Really, it was a very interesting lecture, very thought-provoking, and lot of knowledgeable new points were brought to fore. Thank you so much, Narendra Malhotra, sir. And once again, from all the entire team of DGO GAN, we wish you a very, very happy birthday. May you have a wonderful, happy, and healthy life ahead. Niharika, also thanks to you for chipping in with those tidbits of knowledge, as you always do. Really appreciate your being abreast of knowledge all the time and being updated. Thank you so much. Amog, I must thank you for very nicely and smoothly introducing such a stalwart personality. It was not a small task, but you have done it very nicely. Really appreciate. Thank you so much for that. And Swati, as again, thank you so much for smoothly relaying all our sessions as the chairperson of our DGO GAN meets, and Parul for wonderfully completing the task of entirely uploading all the links on our NOGS website. The link has been given by Dr. Swati in the chat box. So any of you who wishes to access those links and recordings can go through the through the chat box. Now about the ICOG credit points. Again, I would like to repeat. We are really thankful to ICOG, Dr. Meg Madam and Dr. Biniwale sir for giving our online CMEs credit points every time. Today's CME has been granted 1 credit point, and those who wish to seek those ICOG credit points are requested to send in their name, registration number, their mobile number, and their email address to any one of the 2 numbers which have been written in the chat box and which will be displayed in the on the screen very soon. So your details need to be sent on only one of the numbers, and preferably on WhatsApp, so it's easier for us to communicate. And for future notifications, people, please send us your, yes, thank you, Swati. Please send us your number, your name and your mobile number to this number for future notifications of online CMEs of DGO GAN. This is our NOGS office mobile number, and we'll add you to our broadcast list, and you will be notified of our future online CMEs. Don't forget to log in, dear friends. We have some very interesting lectures lined up for the coming week. On Tuesday, we are meeting with Mitra Saxena ma'am. On Friday after that, on 12th of June, we are meeting with Dr. Suresh sir for part 1 of fetal biometry. And the Friday after that, that is 19th of June, for part 2 of fetal biometry. Thank you so much for everybody who logged in, and those who keep logging in regularly and encouraging and supporting us. It's really, we really appreciate your presence and your feedback. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a good evening.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Thanks everyone once again for joining in each time and encouraging us. We wish to see you next week once again on not next week, this Friday with Dr. Suresh. Thanks once again. Swati, there are a few contacts here also again in the chat box.
We'll send the chat.
They have not understood the message, so
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. हॅलो यमू मावशी, पाहिलं मी तुला मगासपासून, पण आता लक्षात आलो. तुला अनम्यूट करू शकते तू. हॅलो शेटे मॅडम, ओ आता पाहिलं. Yeah, you can unmute. You can unmute. Now you can unmute. हॅलो, कशात? खूप दिवसांनी.
हो, खूप दिवसांनी.
थँक्स आल्याबद्दल. थँक्यू सो मच.
ओके, थँक्यू.
वेगळा टॉपिक आहे तर कसं राहील, बट इट वॉज इंटरेस्टिंग.
It was interesting.
Very interesting. I never realized so many small steps that we can and changes that we can make in our lives every day.
Yeah.
Hi Yamu Marshi.
एकदम मस्त सेशन झालंय आणि छोट्या छोट्या गोष्टी ज्या आपण लक्ष करतो.
करेक्ट. खरंच आहे. छान टिप्स मिळाल्या आज.
कॉंग्रॅच्युलेशन्स टू यू स्वाती.
Yes.
राजश्री.
Thank you, ma'am.
Chalo. So can we end the session now? Are we done with the chat?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Chalo, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.